learning adventure with me, Teacher Anarose, your science teacher. This is TV Eskwela of Lapogan Integrated School, where education continues in your respective televisions. In this lesson, you will learn about the two ecosystems, the estuaries and the intertidal zone. We will study more about the interaction for survival among living and non-living organisms in estuaries and intertidal zone. Now, do you know where estuaries and intertidal zone are? Come and join me as we explore science. Interactions among living and non-living things in estuaries and intertidal zone. Discuss the interactions among living and non-living things in the estuaries and intertidal zone. Now, I want you to think quickly. Is it true or false? Number 1. Forest is a place where living and non-living things live and grow. Number 2. A school is a place where humans, animals, and plants live together. Number 3, a rotten log has an organism inside. If all your answers are true, it means you are correct. Why? Because all the places mentioned are called ecosystem. Ecosystem is a place where interaction between living and non-living things occur. Do you know that our Earth most likely covered with water? And if 29% of our Earth covered with land consisting islands and continents, so how many water makes up our Earth's surface? Right! There are 71% of Earth's water. With that 71% of Earth's water, only 2% of it are fresh water. So how many remaining percent of salt water that is found in the oceans? Right, there are 69% of it. Now, let us study these two pictures. Can you say something about it? Correct, these are bodies of water. Based on the picture that we have, the first picture is an example of estuary, while the second picture is an example of intertidal zone. What are the differences between these two pictures? Estuaries are bodies of water that are formed when fresh water from the rivers flows and mixes with salt water from sea or ocean. It may be a bay, a lagoon, or harbor. While intertidal zone, it is an area where land meets the sea between high and low tide zone. It is composed of all plants, animals, and microorganisms living in it. This includes coral reefs, teeming with many corals with different kinds of fishes. There are different habitats and factors that can be found in these two ecosystems. We have biotic and abiotic factors. Biotic means these are the living organisms that can affect an ecosystem. This set of organisms can be a producer, a consumer, or a decomposer. While abiotic factors, these are the non-living organisms that can affect an ecosystem. Here is a table that shows the biotic and abiotic factors that live in estuaries. Biotic factors that are found in estuaries are plants like salt marshes, algae, mangrove trees, grasses, animals like shrimp, fish, oysters, sponges, and planktons. While the abiotic organisms that are found in estuary are waves, salinity, temperature, sunlight, and types of soil. Also, these are the biotic and abiotic factors that live in intertidal zones. Biotic organisms such as crabs, starfish, sea urchin, shrimps, and corals. Abiotic such as water depth, salinity, temperature, sunlight, waves, and winds. Remember, ecosystem is the interaction of biotic and abiotic organisms. Let us see how does these two organisms interact to each other. Let's take a look in this picture. This picture is an example of estuary. Can you tell me what are the biotic organisms you see in that picture? Right. Plants like algae, grasses, animals like fish, and plankton. How about those abiotic organisms? Precisely, the abiotic organisms seen in the picture are sunlight, soil, and temperature. A simple example would be of abiotic interaction in plants. Sunlight, temperature, and the types of soil are necessary for the plants to grow. The biotic interaction is that plants use sunlight and other abiotic organisms to create their food and nourishment. Let's have the other one. This one illustrates an intertidal zone. As we could see on this image, the biotic organisms are corals, sea urchins, crabs, shrimps, starfish, and many more. The abiotic organisms are waves, sunlight, temperature, and water depth. Like in estuary, the significance of biotic and abiotic factors comes in their interaction to each other. The correct interaction needs to be in place for an ecosystem to survive. In short, without the interaction of biotic and abiotic organisms, the ecosystem will never be survived. May we have a short recap by filling on the missing words in the paragraph. Biotics are the organisms that can affect an ecosystem, while abiotic factors are the organisms that can affect an ecosystem. Blank are bodies of water that are formed when fresh water from river flows and mixes with salt water from sea and ocean. While blank, an area where land meets the sea between high and low tide zone. For an ecosystem to survive, biotic and abiotic organisms need to be. As a steward of God's creation, what will you do to conserve our estuaries and intertidal zone and all living and non-living organisms interacting in it? Precisely! Tell to everyone to keep their trash on the right bin and do not throw your garbages to any bodies of water. Now, let's have some fun. Are you ready, kids? Write true if the statement conveys correct information and false if not. Number 1. Plants and animals need abiotic factors in order to survive. Correct. The answer is true. Number 2. Biotic factors are the non-living factors in the environment. Precisely. The answer is false. Number 3. Waves, sunlight, temperature, and water depth are examples of abiotic factors. Absolutely. The answer is true. Number 4, for an ecosystem to survive, biotic and abiotic organisms need to be interact. That's great. The answer is true. Number 5, estuary is an area where land meets the sea between high and low tide zone. Correct. The answer is false. For our learning task, explain briefly the interaction among living and non-living things in estuary and intertidal zone. Here is the rubrics for scoring. And now, enhance your knowledge about our topic by answering the remaining activities on your learning activity sheets. And that ends our lesson for today. This is Anarose G. Pacunana, your science teacher. Bye-bye!